Hey guys, I am Adam. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. It's been a while since I added a Yankee contributor card to my collection, but I just added Vic Raschi. So I'd like to talk about him a little bit, talk about his 1952 World Series performance, and then show you my new card at the end, but show you some other cards along the way. So let's do it. So Vic Raschi was one of the big three pitchers for the Yankees that did the bulk of their pitching from 1949 through 1953, both in the regular season as well as the postseason, and led them to the unprecedented record, which still stands today, of 5 World Series wins in a row. So the big three included Vic Raschi as well as Eddie Lopat, and this is Eddie Lopat's 49 Bowman rookie card, a gift from 11 of my hobby friends, and just an absolute stunner. Let me adjust this camera a little bit here. There we go. That should be pretty good. And also, Allie Reynolds, one of the big three as well, the Chief, also known as Super Chief. And here, of course, we have his 52 Topps card. Vic Raschi was known as the Springfield Rifle because of his fastball and because he grew up in Massachusetts in a city not far from Springfield, where military rifles had been produced since 1794. So let's go over some Raschi stats on baseballreference.com. So, let me get there. So in 1946 with the Yankees, he had, in the regular season, 2 wins, 0 losses. But now in 47, 7 wins, 2 losses. In 48, 19 wins and 8 losses. I believe he had 3 shots at the end of the season to get to that 20th win, but just didn't quite make it. However, still very impressive. In 1949, again, the beginning of the Yankees' 5 World Series in a row streak, Reynolds went 21-10. And then in 1950, he also had 21 wins. He went 21-8. And in 1951, he went 21-10 again. In 1952, he went 16-6. In 53, he went 13-6. And then he was traded and played for some other teams. So, his record as a Yankee was just phenomenal. What an incredible contributor. And then if we get to his postseason play, he was 5-3 with a 2.24 ERA in the 6 World Championships. In 1947, I think he did just a little bit of relieving, pitched 1.1 innings, and allowed a run. But in 49 through 53, he went 5-3. So really impressive. And now let's talk about Raschi this is from the Society for American Baseball Research. As impressive as his overall one-loss record is, Raschi was at his best in the big games. So his teammate, Tommy Henrich, I think I'm saying that right, Henrich. Let me get him on here. That's Henrich's beautiful 1941 Bowman. I went after this card because it's got, a printer mark there. Now, this is an interesting card. It has 2, little bit rounded corners at the bottom, but 2 sharper corners at the top. So if you like sharp corners, look at the top. If you, don't mind rounded, look at the bottom. Anyway, 41 play ball. I love the colors on this card. I think it's Henrich's best-looking playing days card, in my opinion. So, Raschi's teammate, Tommy Henrich, had this to say: if there was only one game I had to win, the man I'd want out there on the mound for me would be Vic Raschi. And then another teammate of Vic Raschi, Jerry Coleman. And here's Jerry Coleman's 1952 Topps card. Wow, I tell you what, these 52 tops, some of these cards are just so glorious. I mean, so many of them are. So Jerry Coleman, he had this to say. Raschi was our bread and butter guy. Allie Reynolds had a better arm, but Raschi was a great competitor. Off the field, he was shy and unassuming, nothing like he was on the mound. There, that is, on the mound, he was a beast. Casey considered him our best starter. And then Casey Stengel had something to say. And this is my 1960 new card, Yanks Champs Again, baseball highlights, essentially of Casey Stengel. I'll put this up here in case you want to pause and read. Casey Stengel makes it 7 world championships. And here is the back. These are tough cards. There's also a regular size 1961 new cards, but I personally prefer the 1960s because they're tougher. Really nostalgic for me with that newspaper look and feel. So Casey Stengel had this to say. I thought Raschi was the best pitcher I had on the team for 9 innings. Boy, he was the best on the club in the 8th and 9th inning. Raschi was a beast on the mound, and not just because of his fastball. With his hazel eyes peering out from beneath his dark eyebrows, he stared down batters in an attempt to unsettle them and gain a psychological edge. And here's Raschi speaking. I figured if I could break their concentration when they came up to the plate, I had them beat, or at least gained an advantage, Raschi said. Once you made them turn their eyes away, you had a slight psychological edge, Raschi said. But then, Raschi's teammate Yogi Berra, and I have 2 of these. One's an SGC4. Here's my good 2, 1952 Topps Yogi Berra. The centering, the color on this, the registration for a 52 Topps Yogi Berra is just top notch, just a little paper loss on the back there and a teeny bit on the front to make it a 2, but the presentation is just off the charts in my opinion. So Yogi Berra had this to say about Raschi. He'd keep his eyes on your eyes like a boxer before a fight. Raschi won games 2 and 6 of the 1952 World Series versus the Dodgers. In that series, Raschi pitched 17 innings and had 18 strikeouts with an ERA of 1.59. So in Game 2, Raschi pitched a complete game at Ebbets Field, and the Yankees won 7-1. So that was just a dominant performance by Raschi in Game 2. And then in Game 5 of that series, there's this Dodgers stud known as Carl Erskine, who is still alive today, by the way. And this is his beautiful 54 Red Heart dog food card. I mean, I absolutely love these. I want to eventually have all of the red hearts, and I think I'm about halfway there, maybe a little less than half, but I have the Stan Musial, so I've got, the toughest one, or at least the most expensive one. So in Game 5 of that series, the Yankees lost at home. They were batting against Carl Erskine, who pitched all 11 innings for the Dodgers, and they lost. The Yankees lost. So they were now down 2-3 in the 1952 World Series and had to go back to Ebbets Field, the Dodgers' home, to win both Games 6 and 7 in order to win their 4th World Series in a row. Well, Raschi was slotted to pitch in Game 6 again, and this time against opposing pitcher Billy Lowe's. So Raschi's curveball was shaky at first. By the way, I just recently watched this whole game on YouTube. His curveball seemed shaky at first, but his fastball looked great, and he managed to hold it together and settle in. Both teams were held scoreless until Duke Snider hits a home run against Raschi in the bottom of the 6th inning. So let's see if we can find the Duke here. This is the Duke's 1952 card. This is a card I believe I bought, I don't emphasize price a lot, but for like $100 total, like maybe within the last year, I'd have to look it up, which I thought was just just a really great buy for this gorgeous 52 Topps Duke Snider. And man, was he a beast in general, but he was a beast in the 1952 World Series. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, they did not prevail, but the Duke did his part big time. So nobody scored again until I believe it was the bottom of the sixth, yes, when Duke Snider hit a home run against Raschi. However, Raschi remained calm, and in the seventh inning, here comes Yogi Berra again. In the seventh inning, Yogi Berra hits a solo home run off of Billy Lowe's to tie the game at 1-1. And then Raschi comes up to bat in the seventh, and boy, did he help his own cause out big time, taking matters into his own hands with an RBI single that scored Gene Woodling from second base. See if we can find Gene Woodling here. Here's his 52 Topps card in a Gem Mint 4. Hey, Sammy, SFI Sports, how do you like that yellow background? Woohoo, I know you do. If you end up seeing this one. Or even if you don't, I know you do. So, wow, Raschi is just, killing it in this game. And then in the top of the eighth inning, Mantle comes along and he hits an insurance home run. Now, I do not have a 52 Mantle to show you, but I do have this 53 in the fabulous relic 1.5 with the Gem Mint 10 red rectangle, red American League rectangle down there. So yes, Mantle comes along in the top of the eighth, and he hits a solo insurance home run. So now it's 3-1. But then in the bottom of the eighth, guess what the Duke does? The Duke comes along and hits his second home run of the game. Again, absolute beast in this series. However, let's see, I think Raschi, I believe he pitched, I think it was 7 2/3 innings. And, at that point it's, or maybe he left when it was before, I'm not sure if he left before the Duke scored his second home run. I'd have to look that up. I should have had that ready. But anyway, Allie Reynolds comes in relief. And so Reynolds comes in relief. And the score remains intact at 3-2. And so Reynolds gets the save. Vic Raschi gets the second victory. The Yankees win Game 6, and then they go on and win Game 7 in Ebbets Field as well for their fourth World Series win in a row. All right, so what card did I get of Yankee contributor Vic Raschi, a.k.a. the Springfield Rifle? That is a great question. Well, you know what? I feel like I should get the big three up here. So we've got Lopat and Reynolds. Lopat, the crafty lefty, who did not have a fastball, but he was darn good. Control pitcher. And then Allie Reynolds, who definitely had a fastball and was quite the competitor. And I picked up my only Vic Raschi card, his 49 Bowman rookie card, in a recently graded PSA 3. So the grade is a quote-unquote lowly 3, but man, I mean, the eye appeal, I'm giving, what do you want to give the eye appeal? Okay, the grade's a 3, fair enough. PSA has spoken, but what's the eye appeal? 7? I don't know. I'm not saying the grade's not a 3, but the eye appeal, I think, is really nice. 6, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. It's awesome. Truly awesome. So this is a card that I've had on my watch list for quite some time. And, there's some out there, but they're asking a lot of money for them, or they're higher grade, whatever. And I'm just not really interested in spending, hundreds of dollars in general for a card of a Yankee contributor. And none of these guys are in the Hall of Fame and probably will never make it. I mean, I know Ali Reynolds has had some Hall of Fame votes. I think Eddie Lopat had a few, and maybe Vic Raschi, I'm not sure. Probably the one who's most likely to have a shot at the Hall of Fame is Ali Reynolds, but even then, that's probably a long shot. So, these guys are not in the Hall of Fame, even though I think they're great. I'm not interested in spending a lot of money for their cards. So the Raschi came up as a new listing. Buy it now for $47.99 or best offer. I offered $40 and we had a deal. So really happy to add Vic Raschi's rookie to my collection. And I would like to get the 49 Bowman Reynolds at some point. Maybe his 48 Bowman rookie, but actually I think why not his 49 Bowman second year card? And then I could have the 49 Bowman of the big 3. And that was the first year of their 5 years of dominance. So I think that would be really cool. So just imagine if this were the 49 Bowman Reynolds, and maybe it will be someday in a future video. All right. Well, thank you everyone for sharing in my joy. I've got a complete Topps Tiffany run player showcase to show off. Maybe within the next week, we'll see. I have a card coming in the mail. I've got a couple of other video ideas as well. So stay tuned. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary. Take care, my friends.